How will the next contact between you and your special someone go? The next contact, a conversation. So I don't mean just something like, hello, good morning. I mean, something a bit more intense let's say like maybe a phone conversation or a personal meeting. So let's just tap into the energy now. The next more intense contact between the two of you, what will it be like? How will it unfold? Let's take a look and tap into the energy of the present moment. And we are in the collective of the Sun Garden, as always, gender neutral, and that includes both of you, your special person and you. So let's take a look now, a truly heartfelt, loving embrace, and you are both absolutely wonderful. I find you also fascinating, honestly, because you are wonderful. Your comments and the way you interact with each other. Yes, even for me, your appreciation, your kind words. It's every day, again and again. It's not something I take for granted. It's something truly special, and I really appreciate it. So, I'm sending you lots of light and love, and now let's take a look. Now I've said and very often, but that doesn't matter. Yes. Your next meeting, your next contact. How will he cry? Let's take a look. So we have the hanged man. So it's like, I would say, it could be that both of you have the feeling as if you're in some kind of interim phase, standing somewhere in between. So a kind of brief standstill. It might also be the first meeting or the first contact again. So I'd say maybe not just texting. It could also be that you feel it, that he feels it, because I sense that you both feel exactly the same thing. But if it's about a meeting here, I can already see that there's a bit briefly, as if the air stands still, but not seen negatively, but simply like this. It's like, what exactly do you do now? But I only sense this moment very briefly here. So it delays things a little bit. It does cause a delay, at least until I think things really get going here, until the flow comes in as far as communication is concerned. And maybe that's because there's a bit too much going on in your head. Okay? Now, I want to say this, or is he just trying to stall me here? Is it just a stalling tactic, or what's coming next? Because maybe for you, some things are popping up that have happened before, but, well, I would say mainly I see this brief moment where it's like you're sitting between two chairs or standing, whatever the case may be. And yes, in that very short moment, there's this standstill, this slight delay as well. But it could also be, if we take delayed now, that maybe, I don't know, a meeting is scheduled for 4 p.m., but then it actually happens at 6 p.m. or the next day. So it's like I arrive a bit late or something is delayed. So I only have a tiny bit of it lying here. So what else do we have? So we have Two of Wands. Two of Wands is also, yes, it's like this a sign of progress between the two of you. But the initial moment is a bit like this kind of absent-mindedness, actually, too. I get the sense that maybe he or she says something to you that you can't quite make sense of because it feels a bit scatterbrained to you. And then again, it's like sitting between two chairs. So in that sense, there's this in-between feeling, not left, not right, just like right now. So there's still a little bit missing in terms of balance at the first meeting or first contact. That's what I can say so far from the first cards. That this back and forth, this being between two chairs, should I go left or right? What do I have more of then? Also, maybe initially, or explicitly. There's energetic activity in the area of writing, contact, or voice messages, whatever it may be. That's present. Maybe not everything is really accessible yet, and perhaps neither of you really knows whether to go left or right. And there's a bit of that, yes. But progress and moving forward are definitely being shown again. But you will already feel a bit of indecisiveness. You might also get the feeling, okay, maybe this has a bit to do with indifference from your loved one, but we'll take a closer look at what's going on, because this back and forth is definitely being shown. But in any case, something is already happening here as well. What is very clear is that a bit of stability is coming back in this, yes, stability in the conversation then. But as I said at the beginning, I do see a bit of this back and forth here as well. What else do we have? We have the Eight of Cups. And with the Eight of Cups, yes, you can see there is already this a bit powerless too. You're searching, right? There's a bit of that. But as I said, both of you have this a little bit, there's some disappointment still present here. With him, I sense these feelings of guilt, a bit of a bad conscience. And yes, something is still being searched for there. So at the beginning, as I said, it's a bit quite intense. So I'll say, I don't want to talk this away now, and I can't anymore anyway, with everything that's being shown here. There really is a bit of uncertainty, right? And because it's like that. The heart, maybe it gets a bit heavy again, but there's this, yeah, it climbs. So at the beginning, I felt this very strongly, insecurity, uncertainty, this instability. But here, I'm quite clearly assuming that at first, this could be something in the communication. But as I said, it's only the beginning. It's the beginning because we definitely have feelings involved here again. And it's not something where I'd say this is going to be completely terrible. So I don't want to say that just yet. Now, I'm curious to see what else we'll get here, what else we'll see. I'm especially curious about the overall tendency. So let's take a look. Oh, my dears, I can already tell you. This is just the beginning. Definitely. Yeah, the beginning, I found it tough. I was moving slowly. So, I mean, even just for it to maybe get in here, until you maybe get an appointment or something, that's where I have the first bit of communication here, where I say, so where things are going back and forth a bit here. But there will definitely be a meeting. So here I can tell you for sure, the meeting will happen, even if it's a bit delayed, a bit slow at the beginning, We definitely have a meeting between the two of you here. Contact is absolutely certain. And yes, as for the meeting, I can also say for sure that I see it happening here. It could very well be that it's in a cafe or out somewhere for dinner, where you say, okay, we'll meet there. But what I find really beautiful here, looking at the whole picture in general, yes, as I said, I sense a restlessness here, a bit of hesitation, a bit of worry. But these worries are mostly in your thoughts, concerns about what might happen. Now we also have a clear picture from you, this uncertainty and this disappointment, right? There is something there, but those are your thoughts, those are your worries. And things are moving forward slowly here. So at the first meeting, let me put it this way, the contact, as I said, we have that now too, but it's a bit uncertain, a bit restless, right? I also sense a few misunderstandings that maybe you're talking past each other a little. I also noticed that at the meeting, at the in-person meeting, because, as I said, there's this cautious, very tentative, uncertain approach toward each other. Maybe there's a bit of knowledge here and there as well, but nothing too serious. Decisions, restlessness, and uncertainty are also shown here again, even doubly so. Will that happen? Yes. But I see that it will completely balance itself out again. That resolves the whole situation here. Because what surrounds everything is both great and small happiness. So, and that means this phase here will be completely replaced. It's about moving out of all the disappointment and out of the withdrawal. So what I see is that you are more active here, because at first it might be that you resonate more with your loved one's energy, this restlessness, this uncertainty and so on, that you briefly get swept into that current, right? But you actually manage to get yourself back on track pretty quickly here, right? Your loved one will keep being on high alert. This whole, oh God, just no pressure. Just don't let her, don't let her ask me too much. Or if I have to make a decision right away, I kind of get a bit short of breath here. So you might as well pack an oxygen tent and a breathing mask here, just in case. But the thing is, he's also in motion here. That will touch the heart again. You'll feel it. It will be a bit tough at the beginning. I'd say at first your communication was a bit superficial. And I'd also say, if you're not resonating with his restlessness, with this uncertainty, don't rush in too much. Don't be too determined. Not like bam wham, Now we're just charging straight ahead here. That also means, come on, bring a little bit of calm into it, because I see him here as very tense. Tense. Oh God, what's going to come out of this? What do I have to decide, or how do I have to decide, or what am I being pushed into now? It has nothing to do with you. It's his issue. That's his situation. I'm just telling you this here because I can also share his perspective with you. And where there's a bit of a risk that the whole thing could, drift apart, little, kind of go off course. And there, that you might, as I said, not be too determined, but rather give him peace. He needs peace. The peace. You are his anchor of calm, definitely. Because he isn't, I see him as totally in his head, like there's all sorts of things swirling around in there. I sense a lot of insecurity there, as I said, and also, a bit of tension in his communication. He does want to, but somehow it's just not working, So you could also bring a bit of lubricant, or something, just to get the sand out of the gears here, to get things running a bit more smoothly, because that's really how I see him here, like that. But in the end, everything works itself out again. As I said, the communication is a bit bumpy, but the determination, your thoughts and wishes to come together is definitely there. And I also see healing between the two of you here. Because, as I said, the whole thing is dragging on a bit, But the more calm you bring into it, the calmer he will become as well, because he will then adjust to you. And I also see the eye contact between the two of you. And that eye contact is very, very important. Even if it's just for a millisecond, your eyes, they don't just see each other, but that contact, that gaze goes straight to the heart. And I see this heart-to-heart connection, which is being shown to me very strongly here. I think that's wonderful. And then things become increasingly calm. And that's when these feelings of happiness are fully triggered between the two of you. As I said, I do see a few bumps in the road at the beginning, but don't worry too much about it beforehand. What will he say, or what will I say, or what could we do about it, right? Try to ease the tension a bit, because you might already feel it in the messages beforehand, in the communication you have before meeting up. And the message here is, you should bring calmness into the situation. That's very important. And don't let yourself get pulled into that whirlpool. Because, as I said, I see him here as being a bit tense, And if it gets to be too much, he might also become a bit touchy, because I see him as being quite sensitive right now, Because, by the way, he's looking forward to the meeting. But there's still this sensitivity. I mentioned this. Oh God, quick. So he might just want to escape, nah. Or say something like, okay, look, let's meet another time instead. That's because he can't handle it, because it's just too much for him, He's kind of a bit of a, a little sensitive soul, as I said, right? You're able to multitask, but with him, it's like, boo, just one thing at a time, please. And very slowly at that. right? Exactly. But with him, I feel the excitement. I feel the anticipation for the meeting, and his heart is really pounding because I can sense him lying there a bit nervous, like, oh God, oh God, oh God, you know? So it's not like, okay, how should I do my hair or what should I wear? No, not in that direction. Or how should I paint my fingernails? I don't get that from him, but definitely this. Oh God, oh God, oh God, you know? So yes, he is thinking about what to wear, right? I have to be honest, when it comes to clothing, I do sense him thinking, what should I wear? And I feel the excitement, the anticipation for this connection between the two of you as well. But there's also something weighing on him. What we saw earlier, we're seeing again now, especially regarding the past. Something is bothering him because somewhere there might be a secret lurking, something you know, but something he doesn't know that you know. You know, um, but he already is. And this is the thing. Maybe he hasn't told you, but it's still there beneath the surface, and he's afraid that something might break again now, because when you meet, he's really focused on making things work again, on making the connection between you two stable once more. And that's why this meeting is so important. And like I said, I see eye contact between the two of you. That's when the sparks really start to fly, you know? So from that perspective, I have, if, as I said, things are a bit awkward at the beginning, I can see that in the end, it all turns out really well because I see the hugs, I see the warmth, and with one or two people, I can even see that there might be a kiss, you know, even if it's just on the cheek. It's brief, but I have that skin contact. I have that closeness between the two of you. And it's not like the last meeting just ends abruptly, like bam, it's over, you know, because here things are starting to move again. And that's what I want as well. As I said, I see him here in a very joyful way, you know. With you, I see you very much in your thoughts. Oh my God, what could happen back and forth? And what if it gets cancelled? Then it won't work out, right? What should I say? What shouldn't I say? As I said, take a deep breath, bring a pack of chewing gum with you, and just keep popping one piece after another so you can stay relaxed, okay? Or meditate beforehand. Yeah, or do some sports so you can get rid of some of your restlessness, you know? Because his restlessness, as I said, that's not yours, that's his. And then whoosh, you start resonating in this sphere here, and it's not particularly good, you know. As I said, you are his calming influence, and you are also the one who brings calm into all of this. So that also means for you, behind, if you know, as I said, always make your own decisions freely, but just let it happen. Don't question anything. Let him talk because he's the one who's tense. These are his issues. He's the one with the problem. With himself, right? Not you. So just smile to yourself and think, oh, you're really restless and actually have no idea how to catch your breath or what you're supposed to do here, right? So with that in mind, you stay relaxed and don't overthink things because more and more knots will start to unravel, you know? There are several little knots and they all gradually come undone, one after another. And the more you allow yourself to relax, the more he'll follow along on that path too. And relaxation will come in, right? Because, okay, was I a pessimist, always expecting the worst before, you know? And that's actually not the case. Like, because as I said, you are the calming influence. So now let's take a look here at how things are trending. Oh, wow. So for one, we have the Ten of Pentacles. I also find the Ten of Pentacles really beautiful because when we look at the meeting, at the contact, what did I tell you here? Security, stability is returning between the two of you. We have that again. And there's also this, yes, I see this encounter as well. And with it comes this eye-opening moment, right? And the experience of this meeting is absolutely wonderful. It will also open your loved one's eyes, you know? This new perspective, this lightness, bringing that sense of ease back in and restoring stability to your relationship, your connection with each other. And with that, outside influences will be completely set aside. As I said, this meeting is very important. And that's when the course will truly be set, you know? But I know you'll definitely manage it and you'll succeed in bringing calm into the situation. So what else do we have? Major arcana. We have the star. And the stars. The stars, however you want to put it. We always take more, right? We'll take the stars. Yes, so there's a new upswing here and also a renewed faith in the two of you. You have it, you'll get it back. And so will he, because I also have the great card of luck here as well. So in the end, we actually have triple luck between the two of you when it comes to meeting up. So even if it concerns a separation, a kind of despair, which is confusing, that will completely disappear. Even if things are a bit confusing at first, yes. But things will return to stability, to security for both of you, for your connection, with the greatest happiness included, and as I said, into a relaxed phase. There is a new upswing here, an upswing in faith, hope, and happiness. And that is wonderful. Dear ones, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching and wish you a wonderfully beautiful rest of the day. Goodbye.